Every 60 seconds, someone disappears, but when that someone is to people Lily and Jack Sullivan, a young couple with a newborn baby. The silence that follows echoes louder than any scream. And when their baby monitor continues to crackle with sound long after they're gone, the mystery becomes something far more chilling. The Sullivans seemed like the definition of a fresh start. In 2019, they left behind city noise and corporate burnout to settle into a cozy lakeside cottage in the quiet town of Eagle S Hollow. It was a place where neighbors waved from porches, where time slowed down, and where everyone knew your name. Lily, a freelance illustrator, worked from home, caring for their infant son. Jack, once a mechanic in the Coast Guard, was handy, calm, and fiercely protective of his little family. To everyone around them, they were living a dream until that dream shattered on a cold June night. At exactly 3:07 a.m. on June 14th, a neighbor named Mrs. Halbridge awoke to the sound of a scream. Not the kind that fades into the night, but a sharp, desperate cry that jolted her upright. Seconds later, glass broke. Then came silence. No voices, no footsteps, just an eerie stillness. By the time police arrived, the Sullivan home was frozen in time. The front door was locked, but the back door stood open. Jack's truck was in the driveway, engine still warm, keys dangling in the ignition. Upstairs, their infant son was sleeping peacefully unharmed, untouched. Downstairs, the baby monitor glowed faintly, still humming with static and the occasional pop, as though it had just missed recording something. Unthinkable. There were no signs of forced entry, no blood trails, no struggle. Yet the dining chairs were knocked over. A glass had shattered on the floor. A mug was still steaming slightly on the windowsill. It was as if Lily and Jack had simply vanished mid-sentence. The town of Eagles Hollow descended into panic. People triple-locked their doors. Neighbors whispered theories over backyard fences. The police launched a full-scale investigation, but every lead evaporated. Their phones had gone dark around 3:11 a.m. No outgoing calls, no messages. Surveillance footage from a nearby gas station showed nothing out of the ordinary. But it wasn't long before strange details began to emerge. Friends told detectives that Lily had grown anxious in the weeks leading up to the disappearance. She mentioned seeing lights outside the cottage at night slow, flickering glows deep in the forest. Behind their home, Jack had brushed it off at first, but after spotting footprints near the back fence one morning, he became concerned. He installed motion sensor lights, set up hidden trail cameras in the woods, and even kept a journal noting unfamiliar cars and license plates in the area. That journal would later become a central piece of evidence. In it, Jack had circled 3 specific dates. On each of those nights, Lily had reported hearing rustling outside the nursery window. On the last date, just 3 days before they vanished, Jack wrote, "Same car again, black SUV. No plates, parked by the trail entrance for 17 minutes. The cameras, unfortunately, revealed little, until one caught something unexpected. 2 nights before the disappearance, a faint beam of light, possibly a flashlight, was captured moving slowly through the woods. The figure behind it stayed just out of frame. As detectives dug deeper, they discovered a tension beneath the Sullivans' peaceful image. Jack had been in a business dispute with Mark Hadley, an old friend turned renovation partner. The two had flipped cabins together before, but a falling out over money had soured their relationship. Jack had even filed a report about threatening calls, though the number was untraceable. Mark denied involvement and provided an alibi. He was out of town on a fishing trip. The weekend the Sullivans vanished, his phone backed up that story. For months, the case stagnated. Billboards went up. National coverage brought in dozens of false leads, but nothing broke the silence. Then, a year later, nature revealed what people could not. Following a harsh summer drought, the lake behind the Sullivan property receded by nearly 6 feet. In the exposed mud, searchers uncovered a warped, algae-covered canoe, one that matched the make and model of the couple's missing boat. It had been punctured, almost as if stabbed from beneath. Inside were torn fabric fragments and items unmistakably linked to the Sullivans. Jack's navy blue jacket and Lily's charm bracelet, with tiny silver birds and a moonstone bead she always wore. The blood on the items matched both Jack and Lily. But even more shockingly, investigators found partial DNA traces that matched Mark Hadley, the man who had sworn he'd never seen them that weekend. When confronted, Hadley became agitated and combative. But before charges could be filed, he was found dead in what appeared to be a car accident just 2 months later. His vehicle had crashed on a remote mountain road and burst into flames. Officials ruled it a suicide. But fire investigators uncovered traces of an accelerant poured over the seats, raising a terrifying question. Was Hadley silenced? Or was someone else pulling the strings all along? Detectives now believe a third party may have been involved. Someone who either orchestrated the Sullivans' disappearance and framed Hadley, or who helped cover it up by eliminating him. A new theory even suggests that the couple may have uncovered something: illegal land development, corruption, perhaps, or something hidden beneath the lake's surface that led to their targeted removal. To this day, the case remains open. No new evidence has surfaced. The Sullivan cottage, long abandoned, still stands, windows shuttered, toys scattered across the lawn, baby monitor resting on the kitchen counter, forever stuck on that haunting frequency. Their son, now living with relatives, will someday ask what happened to his parents. And unless something changes, the only answer will be, no one knows. So, what do you think happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan? Was it revenge? A cover-up? Or did they stumble into something that was never meant to be seen? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if unsolved cases like this keep you thinking long after the screen fades to black, click on the next video. It's one that may disturb you even more.